Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today, we're going to finally be getting on with the new week's theme, which is non English lyrics. I know I've missed a couple of days. Um, it's been a rough weekend, but we're gonna power through this. We're gonna get this stuff done. Today's band is called Arcona. I am not going to attempt to pronounce the song name, but it's the one suggested by Damien Rabiot. Um, that's just the first one that came up when I did a YouTube search because Thomas Olversky and Artist Circle, they also gave unique song requests, so we just had a bunch of unique requests going around. So I picked the one that YouTube gave me first in the search. It also has a music video to it, which helps. I think sometimes I don't necessarily try to watch them too often, but at least it gives something visual for you guys to watch while I'm basically just staring at a screen and trying to listen to the music. All right, let's see what these guys are bringing. There's really dark ambiance, kind of mixed with the power. Yeah, that bass is giving the chord progression so much characteristic at the ends. So much character at the ends.
Liki Bessmertnykh Bogov.
Yeah, just filling up the soundscape here. I really love the dichotomy between the acoustic guitars and then just the full-on orchestra plus overdriven guitars. I think it's a very nice little switch up that's happening quite often.
С этого плена, и воспоминания подымут ту страшную суть, как ползая змеем, касаясь незримых кореньев, впал в пустоту бытия неизведанной тьмы. И вот ты один над простором извечной святыни, и в мыслях ты вспомнишь о том, что был предан людьми.
Really nice build up there. I like that little slide there in the vocals. Got a little pan flute going on here. and a very interesting sound, almost like a spring. And honestly, say I was not expecting her to break out some what was that, fries? Kind of mixing it right here where we have some power within the sort of softer side to the song. She has a very powerful vocal style, further back in the mouth, very wide embouchure. So yeah, okay. I can see why that was requested by a few people. That was pretty cool. I don't know, if they do anything else or if this is their thing, but it kind of has that symphonic metal thing going on, where it has a lot of the what I would say are key elements to metal, where you have your power and your speed and just that raw ferocity mixed with some of the more elegance of your symphonic music, and you just have that warm timbre coming from the strings. And that's pretty much how it's used here to kind of bring an elegance to the double bass kicks, and maybe gravity blast. I don't know. The drum part in that chorus is it's pretty clean. It's pretty clean. Um, but yeah, so you have that with your guitars, and then just your orchestra laying down these very wide um, chords. I don't know. I was blanking out on that. Yeah, so they're laying down these very wide chords that are kind of giving it this more regal feel to kind of the power and brutality that the drums and guitar are bringing. And then of course she just has that powerful warm singing style that, as I was talking about, comes from singing at the back of your throat rather than projecting to the front, and really using an open O sound, oh, and getting that really warm, powerful open sound. And she just has a beautiful voice that goes along with that, and it creates this. Like I said, it's got the ferocity of metal and just the hard fastness of it, but then you also have her and the strings coming in and just kind of elevating that from a place of ferocity to a little bit more elegance. And I like how she kind of keeps that elegance throughout, because when we don't have the metal aspects present, we still have the guitars, but there's a lot more beauty to them. And it's not so much just the timbre, the sound of, an undistorted, a clean guitar, but it's also the chord progression and the way that they choose to play them. It sounds almost like it's finger picked. And if I remember right, they're not going up and down the chords. They're kind of, bouncing around some of the notes. Um, so it doesn't have a lot of that metal feel, even though it might still be, an electric guitar. I'm not sure if they actually switched to acoustics at that point or not. And then you have the pan flute that just comes in out of nowhere, and I love when they kind of mix woodwinds into metal, just because we don't see it all that often. We've seen the flute in a couple of like folk metal things, maybe once in another symphonic metal band. Um, And then the saxophone, Rivers of Nile, I think that's the only time we've seen a saxophone. Outside of maybe like some of the avant garde experimental stuff where it's just kind of all over the place regardless. Um, but yeah, so we are a lot more likely to listen to strings, your violins, your cellos, your violas, inside, combined with metal, much more than brass or wood. Although brass got picked up by ska. So the brass section shows up in rock, but trumpets also have just this strong elegance to them, and we have heard them a couple of times in some of the bands that utilize, orchestral elements. Woodwinds just really don't show up very much. It's usually the brass and the strings, so it's really cool to see, uh, you know, flute being played in more of these bands, especially in the folk side. It seems to be that they're more prevalent. Um, I think that's really all of my talking points. The song was, compositionally rather standard. We seem to have a sort of going back and forth between the what I say is the chorus with the blast beats, double bass kick, um, and her open singing style, and then maybe the verse, which would be the acoustic guitar and whispering. I really like how she overlaid the whispers. You had a very dominant vocal track that was it was clean. Well, it was clear. Let me say that. I could clearly hear the enunciations in these whispers, but there were two or three vocal tracks that were kind of pushed under in the mix, and they're a little more difficult to hear, and I think the enunciation was also a little off. But it also could just be that I don't know the language, but it was a little more difficult for me to hear exact syllables, and it might be the way that they were overlaid on top of each other and kind of muddying each other up. Um, but it was just this interesting way to kind of create presence and focal point despite using multiple similar timbres. All the whispers were from the same singer. They all had a very similar sound to them, but there was definitely the one prominent one that your attention just kind of gets drawn to in that section. And the other ones, they kind of fade off into the background to provide a sort of background static. Or maybe if you know the words, if you speak the language, maybe you might hear them on a second or third listen, maybe on the second verse. Um, but it's the little textures that they provide. I think for the non-speakers, the people who don't understand the language, it provides this interesting texture to those sections. But anyways, we have the back and forth between those two sections, and then interestingly, the metal breakdown with her fry. I think it's a fry. It could be a growl. Um, Honestly, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know the difference. To me, growls are lower and fries are higher, but I do know that the techniques are different, and I don't know on a technical level what makes them different. But based on the kind of fry distortion that I heard and the range, I think it's a. Or let me take that back. The kind of distortion and the range make me think it's a fry. But I guess it could have been a growl. Anyways, that section really struck me, really caught me off guard. Not just because it was more of a metal breakdown, but just because of her singing. Like, I did not expect that. She has this very, I've said warm, open tone. It's very classical. She has a classical singing style to her, and very, very rarely do we see classical singers, whether they're classically trained or self trained, but singing in a classical style. Rarely do we see those people also, uh, you know, have taken the time to learn and practice what we could call our alternative singing styles or harsher singing styles. It just isn't usually done. And I think it's really cool to see her employing both techniques, the harsh stuff and the more classical stuff. So yeah, really cool things going on all around. And if this is anything like what we're looking for the rest of the week, I'm excited. Um, I think one of the cool things, I'm pretty sure someone mentioned this to me on the Patreon, but one of the cool things about these non-genre weeks is that we actually get to see a wide range of things going on. One second. We get to see a wider range of things. When we do a genre week, we pretty much listen to the same thing over the week. And I try to keep, I try to find some things that are different, hopefully. Maybe we get some stuff from the beginning of the genre and some stuff at the end of the genre. Or let me see, the inception of the genre and maybe something more modern or something that came about at the end of the genre. And we can kind of see, a correlation there just to kind of change it up a little bit and maybe see how some bands might have influenced others. But themes like this, where there is no set genre, it's really kind of a grab bag. We listen to symphonic metal today, or something that I would say is close, maybe folk metal. Who knows what we're going to listen to? The only quantifier is that the singer doesn't speak English, so I mean that could be any band. I'm pretty sure everything on the poll was rock or metal, but I mean, we could very easily have pop music this week. I don't know. Um, but it's just one of those possibilities. So I think that's really cool and exciting. I don't really know what I'm getting into for the rest of the week. Whereas after the first video in a genre week, I'm pretty much okay. Now I know what the genre's offering in a sense, and I can be more prepared for the rest of the week. But this one's just wild stuff. Anything could happen. We could be doing, techno jazz tomorrow, which I think would be really cool. But I also don't think we're doing. Like I said, I'm pretty sure everything's rock or metal, but we will find out. I will be putting out one more video today, which is going to be the Patreon picks. I'm going to get two out for tomorrow, and that would be what was supposed to be Tuesday and Wednesday. Friday, we're going to have Thursday and Friday's videos. So we have two every day, and then Saturday we'll have a Patreon picks. Sorry. And then we'll be caught up again. I feel like every week we get uncaught up. We get lagging behind every week. So that is the plan. No, two videos a day so that we're caught up. I don't think I'm going to run into any more problems, but I got so many curveballs and hurdles being thrown at me each day. It's just, I can't promise. That's my plan, is two a day. But if nothing pops up, I apologize in advance. I'm trying my hardest to keep everything rolling smoothly. The universe just has other plans for me these days. So yeah. Anyways, though, one more video today. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard, 9 p.m. UTC. That's when two more videos should be dropping. And both of them will be for the non-English speaking theme. And then, like I said, hopefully we can get the last two on Friday, which would also be to finish out this theme. All right, so thanks everybody for your patience and all of the kind words over the weekend. Seriously, you guys have had so much to say, and it means so much to me that you guys just have so many kind words and words of support and encouragement, some words of empathy and sympathy, and just all around just amazing stuff. You guys are a fantastic community, and I really couldn't ask for any better. So thanks so much for that, and I will be back tomorrow. Like I said, 5 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UTC. All right, until then, you guys keep being awesome and stay safe out there. And have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.